It's not like Disney has already ruined the Marvel superhero franchise that, by the way, they didn't create. They just acquired it. Or for that matter, the Indiana Jones franchise with this latest debacle of a movie they released, which, again, they never created. They just acquired it. Now, how about Star Wars? Which, wait a minute, did they create Star Wars? No, they sure didn't. They just acquired it. They are now further ruining the Star Wars brand with a big announcement today. Take it away, CNN.
Also, the first woman and the first person of color to direct a Star Wars film. It's set to be released in 2026. You can say that the force is strong with this one. Here's Charmin Obaid-Chinoy.
I'm very thrilled about the project because I think what we are about to create is something very special. And we're in 2024 now. And I think it's about time that we had a woman come forward to shape the story in a galaxy far, far away.
Well, it's 2024, and it's about time we had a woman shape the universe from a galaxy far, far away. All right, a couple of things here. First of all, a hat tip to Stephen Miller over at Spectator. He's Red Steez on Twitter, X, and he's a much bigger Star Wars geek than I am. He points out that, first of all, the very best Star Wars movie ever made, Empire Strikes Back, that would be the second film made, number 5 in the saga. I know. It was co-written by a woman. That's right. And the editor of all 3 of the first 3 films, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, the best, right? Number 4, 5, and 6. The editor of those movies was George Lucas's wife, a woman. Yeah, it was back in the good old days when men married women. I mean, actual biological women, by the way. I just want to clarify. So the ignorance of this woman to step forward and say it's about time a woman actually had something to say about the Star Wars franchise is insulting to those women who helped craft the Star Wars universe, or galaxy to be specific, that we all know and love and now sadly hate. They were women. And then also, speaking of hat tips, here's Matt Walsh, who points out a little bit more about this woman who's now in charge of the Star Wars franchise.
What is the balance of activating a force for change, but also trying to permeate that patriarchy, that power structure? And is that a part of the calculation of your art as well? And what's been the reaction to that?
I'm sorry, is that Jon Stewart with that insipid, sanctimonious, absolute bore of a question? What the hell has happened to that guy? The left-wing worm ruins everybody's brain. As soon as you are beholden to the left wing in American politics or entertainment, it'll ruin you. This was Jon Stewart. Yeah, you should take a look at some of Jon Stewart's old stand-up. It's like Jimmy Kimmel. It's the same thing. He used to have an edge. He used to be funny. He used to, and I'm not talking before The Daily Show. But then he was celebrated. He was a hero of the left. He was a hero of Democrats. He had this elevated ego suddenly that aggrandized him above his audience, and suddenly he's now beholden to that. And after that happens to you in the media sphere, in the entertainment sphere, you end up no longer stand-up comedian, TV host, edgy Jon Stewart that actually has a sense of humor. No, you become this guy. Listen to this question again, and then we'll get to the Star Wars thing.
What is the balance of activating a force for change, but also trying to permeate that patriarchy, that power structure? And is that a part of the calculation of your art as well? And what's been the reaction to that?
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I can't get over how horrible this is. What kind of Me Too skeleton is lurking in Jon Stewart's closet that he has to pay this kind of penance in advance so that it stays shut down? That's the only solution I can come up with on how he has debased himself to actually ask that horrific question that even a professor of women's studies at Harvard wouldn't even bring themselves to ask. All right, I'm going to leave it alone. Let's move on now to the woman who is now in charge of Star Wars.
Oh, absolutely. I like to make men uncomfortable. I enjoy making men uncomfortable. Not you, just
Not you. Not you.
Point taken. Point taken.
Not you, John. You're one of the good guys. Well, I mean, I don't know about you, but I want to rush out and buy a ticket. Don't you guys? Well, the good news is the Star Wars universe, the Star Wars franchise, dating all the way back to 1977 when the first movie came out, in the decade since, all the movies, all the merchandise, all of the lunch boxes, all of the posters, all of the action figures, all of the pretend lightsabers, all of the amusement park rides, all of the billions and billions of dollars worldwide that's been spent on that to create this universe, all the books that have been written, all the animated series, all of it was really meant to cater to women. They didn't need men to participate in that. They didn't need little boys. What little boy do you know wanted to grow up to be Luke Skywalker? What little boy thought Darth Vader was super cool? What little boy in their backyard on the swing set would play shoot 'em up laser guns against a make-believe stormtrooper? Right? No, boys were never into Star Wars. It's good now. It's good now to have a director that will make the core base audience of this entire multi-gajillion dollar franchise uncomfortable. Come on, everybody. By the way, what am I missing here? Because I've seen the last 3 movies that have come out under the Disney umbrella, and I'm pretty sure they were already trying to make men uncomfortable. You know, Han Solo was just a jerk and a cat. It was really General Leia Organa who was really the brains and might behind the operation. I mean, seriously, they've already gone into the toxic masculinity with Star Wars for the last 3 movies. And now this woman's going to do, oh, you ain't seen nothing yet, guys.
But, it is important to be able to look into the eyes of a man and say, I am here, and recognize that. And recognize that I am working to bring something that makes you uncomfortable, and it should make you uncomfortable because you need to change your attitude. And it's only when you're uncomfortable, when you're shifty, when you have to have difficult conversations, that you will perhaps look at yourself in the mirror and not like the reflection, and then say, maybe there is something wrong with the way I think, or maybe there is something wrong with the way I am addressing this issue.
You know, I love getting lectured to in IMAX with special effects, don't you? By the way, quick snapshot of Disney stock. March 2nd, 2021 is the last high it hit, $201 a share. It's now closer to $100 a share. I'm no financial expert. I'm no stock maven. But when your stock price is doing this, that ain't a good thing. And you can't blame COVID, by the way, because that high was a year after COVID hit. In fact, Disney did very well immediately post-COVID because everybody was home, and they released Disney Plus right around that same time. So people were consuming entertainment at home. Now, this has nothing to do with COVID. It has people being done with their product. And Toby Dalla, who, by the way, has Boba Fett as a icon, is absolutely right. Kathleen Kennedy demonstrated that a woman shouldn't be in charge of Star Wars. And now they can't get enough. Now they brought in this woman to be the director as well. And they're celebrating it. They're bragging about it. You would think they would keep this on the QT, maybe. You know, let's just let the movie come out. People at least buy it, and then they'll find out they hate it. But no, we're going to let you know ahead of time how much you hate it. You know, Jeremy Boring over at Daily Wire right now is like, all right, somebody give me a budget on a sci-fi movie. What can we do? What can we do? All right. Well, listen, it's a perfect example of how DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, ruins everything. Even an indestructible movie franchise like Star Wars. It is always like people got together a few years ago and said, well, this thing is indestructible. It's perfect. Like the Marvel superhero franchises as well. You know, there's nothing that can stop this. And then the DEI HR lawyer over at Disney says, oh, I've got an idea how we can stop it. I know how we can ruin it. Hold my beer. Hold my Bud Light, to be specific.